In this video, you're going to learn the 3 most common mistakes that people make when looking for a personal trainer for anxiety, as well as some common mistakes that personal trainers make when they're training clients with anxiety. So let's jump to it. But before we do, who am I to even be telling you about this? My name is Igor. I've been a personal trainer since 2006, and I'm the author of the Amazon book called The Mental Health Prescription. As well, I run a personal training company both in person and virtually called Fitness Solutions Plus that specializes in anxiety. Now, you know the benefits of exercise for anxiety, namely that it helps reduce anxiety if you do it right. And that's a big if because a lot of people don't do it right. And as a result, when they want to improve something like their anxiety, they make it worse by giving themselves exercise-induced panic attacks, which I talk about in my other video linked in the description. So you know the benefits of exercise for anxiety, besides all the other benefits like weight loss, like strengthening, toning, improving other health conditions, and so on. It also helps reduce anxiety if you do it right. But there are some problems with exercise for a lot of people. Problem number one is personalization. You don't really know what to do for you. Sure, you could watch a video, you could read a book, you could talk to a friend, but just because it works on a population basis doesn't mean it works for you on an individual basis. That's problem number one. Problem number two is injuries. You're not sure how to do the exercises properly, and you want to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for injuries down the line or possibly even immediately. And problem number three, accountability. How many times have you tried to start an exercise program only to stop it 2, 3, 4 weeks in, if that? So you're going to let yourself off the hook, but when people hire a personal trainer, they are accountable to somebody outside of themselves, and that person won't let you off the hook. They're going to be your coach, your cheerleader, and of course your trainer. And so that's probably why you looked for a personal trainer for anxiety, because you know all this stuff. So what are the most common mistakes that personal trainers make for clients with anxiety? Here are 4. In no particular order is 1, no assessment. An assessment should be relevant to your goals. Most personal trainers, they do an assessment based on push-ups, sit-ups, stuff like that. If those are relevant to your goals, awesome. But if those are not relevant to your goals, they should assess what is relevant to your goals. If your goal in finding a personal trainer for anxiety is to reduce your anxiety, then the personal trainer should assess your anxiety levels. The way that I recommend it in my book is to have people fill out a questionnaire, either the questionnaire for my book or a more extensive questionnaire called the Beck Anxiety Inventory, or any kind of anxiety questionnaires you can find online. So that is mistake number 1, which is not assessing anxiety levels to begin with. Mistake number 2 is not assessing the impact of any individual workout on anxiety levels. In other words, the way that I like to do it with my clients is before an exercise session, I have my clients rate different factors like anger, confusion, depression, and other factors on a 0 to 5 scale before exercise. Then we do the exercise routine and then measure again. If we had a tangible impact improvement, that is, with our exercise, we know we're on the right track. But if we did the assessment, we exercised, and everything stayed the same or got worse, we know we're doing the wrong stuff. So it's important to course correct. But if you're not assessing, you are guessing. That's mistake number 2. Mistake number 3 is using high intensity exercise with clients who have anxiety. There's a difference between moderate intensity and high intensity on anxiety levels. High intensity exercise makes anxiety levels worse for reasons that I talk about in my book and my other videos, which are linked down below in the description. However, moderate intensity exercise makes anxiety better. Hence the need for assessment both before and after an exercise session. And mistake number 4 that personal trainers often make is not communicating with the other health professionals that you may be seeing, like your doctor, your psychiatrist, your pharmacist, and anybody else that you might be seeing for your anxiety. So these are the 4 most common mistakes that personal trainers make when it comes to anxiety. Now, the 3 most common mistakes that people make when looking for a personal trainer for anxiety are, in no particular order. Mistake 1 is hiring the cheapest personal trainer they can find. Personal trainers really come in 2 categories. They are either cheap or they're good, but they're rarely both. The good personal trainers aren't cheap. The cheap personal trainers aren't good. And so if you want a good personal trainer, but you think you can't afford it, consider reducing your exercise frequency. Instead of hiring a cheap personal trainer 3 times per week or twice per week, get a good personal trainer, but train them with them once or twice per week. You're probably going to get better results with a good trainer at a lower frequency than a bad trainer at a higher frequency. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two is confusing likability with competence. A lot of personal trainers are charismatic, enthusiastic, upbeat people, but it doesn't mean that they are competent at training for anxiety. They might look good, they might look lean and muscular, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they understand how the brain works when it comes to anxiety. And mistake number three, which comes from mistake number two, is not looking for success stories of other clients who improved their anxiety directly as a result of training with that trainer. Maybe they improved their anxiety indirectly and they were training for something else, for endurance, for strength, etc. So you want to find other success stories, other clients who had the explicit goal of improving their anxiety. Not necessarily weight loss, not necessarily muscle gain, but specifically anxiety improvement, and the trainer used those methods with more than one person to improve that person's anxiety. Again, my company specializes in working with anxiety, so if you need help improving your anxiety using exercise, nutrition, and supplements, feel free to fill out the application form on my website at www.fitnesssolutions+.ca.